So, hello and welcome to part two of Event Listeners. So, yesterday we looked at using Event Listener for an accordion, making it functional. You click the button, it opens, you click the button, it closes. So, we've seen basically the way to use Event Listeners. So, today we'll just be looking at, I don't know, form handling, form management, Event Listeners industry. Um, For starters, there are lots of events that can happen over here. If you look at this input now, you see that it's in focus. Focus. What I did now is I press tab. If you reload, if you open any page, yeah. There was hackathon sometime at the end of last year or so, or was it before Easter? France Cathy hackathon. Was it? Did anybody participate in that?
Yes.
Aha. So if you remember, he focused a great deal on what's it called? ARIA, web accessibility. And part of that was managing focus. So if you open the page and you click tab, something should get focused. And he wanted it that the first focusing, should show up. And if you keep pressing tab, you can be cycling through items that should be focusable. So that's a problem. You see how it skipped these other ones? It only stayed on mail. See what I mean? After email, you click tab, came here. Okay. Okay, that's great. That's great. It's all good. With cycling with left and right, I can still move to whichever one I want. So it's all great. Like this, you can not use a mouse. You can just use tab and do your thing and go your way. Something like that. Anyway, this state right now is focus state. If you check the CSS, there should be something like focus right now. Let's see. Yeah, focus. So if you're ever wondering about the focus states, it's for when, you know, a button or input, either you've clicked on it or you use tab to navigate to it, or it's going to be directly affecting them or something like that. So that's focus. And there's an event for focus. There's an on focus event. There's also on blur. On blur is when focus leaves an element. So if we put an on blur on this input right now and I press tab, that event is going to fire. As usual, mouse over. Although I don't see the reason why somebody will need mouse over most of those mouse events for a form. But now, whenever you type in an input or backspace, do any of those things, there's an event that is fired, and actually it's the on input event in regular JavaScript like this. Although there's a little bit of a problem, a little bit of a difference rather, when you get to React. I just want to say this now, even though we're not really doing React, but you making any typing change, like you want the event to be fired instantly every time you make a change in this input. You type, you backspace, stuff like that. That's on input. If you do something with the on-change event, however, it will fire the moment you finish typing and you go away. It kind of works like on blur. Once you finish making the change and you go away from that input, then it will fire. So let's give that a try and see exactly what I'm talking about. So we've got this form. Okay, first of all, sir, trying to get all our inputs as variables from this form. First of all, there's the form, and then we want to get all the inputs, and then we want to get this button, right? So for starters, who can help us with that? First of all, getting the form. Sam the Wonder. I don't think I've seen it before. Can you help us get this form as a variable in JS? This form. Hello, Sam. If you are speaking, you are muted though. All right, Kingsley. Can you help us out?
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Can we try getting with the ID? Is it possible?
Okay, currently it doesn't have an ID, Sha.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want us to give it an ID?
Yes.
Okay. What ID?
And maybe a form. Let's just use a form.
Let's just call it form. Okay. Maybe we'll call it reg form since
Okay.
it's a registration form. So okay, we've gotten it with the we've given it an ID. What do we do here?
Then we assign to a variable.
And what would be the name of the variable?
Probably reg form, but at least camel casing.
Cool. All right, reg form is equal to
Document dot get element by ID.
let's remember ID. And what do we put in here?
That will be the reg form.
Reg form. Awesome. So this is reg form. So now we've got this reg form. We probably may need to get all these other inputs. So now all these inputs have IDs, but they don't have names. Um, let's look at something. Okay, so this is reg form. And you can see a long list of its children. Inputs, first name, last name, blah, 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 blah. Passwords, change password. This is education level, experience level, about you, and then the submit button. Okay. Um, okay. So if we did try to do something like getting all these children, let's say, with their inputs, sorry, with their IDs, we would run into a little bit of problem with these three. You see these three? These are the radios, right? Okay. I'm trying to think of how to arrange this thing in my mind. Let's give this a name, for example, in Impro. First, still first name, like this. Fetch form dot, sorry. Let me see if this thing is going to change now. I'm trying to remember what property that is. There's a property, I think, in forms that allows you to see the values of their named children. Or am I just looking at it wrong? Let me try Googling something. I'm coming a bit. Is it really only the brute force way? Okay, this way shows they try by name that have this name gender, because all these radios have the name gender, and then they find out which one is checked and get the value of that one that is checked. And this is kind of, this is a loop. You are just checking all of them for which one. But I feel like I've seen a way that did not involve a loop like that. This is also a loop. Okay, so if I can't see a straightforward way, then it would still just have to be like that. But I really feel like I've seen. Hmm. This one didn't really. Okay, they just went this way. All right. No wahala. We'll just roll with that then. Okay. Um. After getting this form, what next would we want to do on the form? Okay, let's try the on input, right, for first name. So getting this first name as a variable, let me remove this. So query selector dot first name.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay, first name input dot add event listener. So we're going to add two event listeners, one for on input and one for on change, so that we'll see how they function. So this event listener, first one is going to be impute, and we're just going to call it, I don't know, handle impute. We're going to create the function later. And then first name impute dot add event listener change, handle change, create that later. So let's have them here. So handle impute, what do we want? Maybe just console.log something. Console.log impute. And for this one, you know what? Change. Okay, that's great. So that is happening just for first name. So cannot read properties of null. The first name. Oh, sorry, it's ID. I'm sorry, my bad. That was an ID. Okay, so if we have G, you see inputs, I, Y, U. Everything I made shows this. You can see the number increasing. If I do backspace, it increases to 7. Okay, so every change you make, every input fires the on-input events. But now, if I remove the focus from this input, press tab or click somewhere else, then you get the on change. Okay, so for vanilla JS, that's how on input and on change works. In React, however, there is pretty much no on input event. There's just on change. So that's that. The way you see on input working right now, that's how on change works in React. Anyway. So we have no problem with on input, right? Yeah.
But when you put the input, it's just only recording what you are doing there, not that it's showing what you are inputting.
I didn't ask it to show what I'm inputting. I only asked it to console log the word input or change.
Okay. So
yeah.
So the number of times you touch the input is that's why that number is showing.
The number is showing because console logs are also pretty. The console is pretty smart. If you do the same thing, if you are logging the same thing over and over without something in between, it wouldn't be displaying different logs of the same thing. It will keep on increasing the number.
Okay.
Sorry, excuse me, Precious. Please, what are we trying to do?
What are we trying to do? We're trying to do everything that we see possible in a form.
Is it more like we are trying to create the form?
No, the form is already created. We just want to look for all kinds of event listeners. Currently, we're just looking at on input and on change.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so sorry. Assuming I want to get the value.
The value every time.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's the next thing we're going to.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So far, the handler functions, the event handler function, event listener functions we've been using, we've never tried to access the event itself from those functions, right? Let's see. The last day was day 23, right? Yeah, all these functions, we never really passed the events to them. But this listener, this second this second argument to this add event listener method, actually the function that is here, the function you can put here, has access to the event object, E, or some people will write EV, or maybe even events info. Personally, I'm used to E. Okay, so sometimes you see some functions that have this E. So instead of console logging inputs, let us console log events. E. And see exactly what's in there. So once again, if I write G, we see input events. And if you open up this event, it's a bunch of things that tells you things like current targets, type. But most of the times, the two things that we actually use inside this event object when we come to check or do something with it is current targets and targets. There may be some reason for you to use something else like SRC element, but a lot of times it's this and this that you want. So what's happening now is that target is the element that this listener was attached to. Sorry. Let me try and add something. We'll see if I can explain that better with it. So after this whole section, if I have this other section that has a div called parents, and that one has another div called child. I need to give them some styles for the whole thing to make sense. Okay, I call this div page holder. I want to be sure that I did not style section, like just section. I styled the class. Okay, cool. So I just need to worry about parent and child. So parent is going to have, let's say, a width of 50%, margin of 40px auto, and a background. What fine background do we give it? Let's give it this. Okay. Also, it's going to be display grids and place items center. It also needs a height. What weird height do we give this guy now? Let's say 100 px. Okay, and child is going to have a width of 50 px. Let's just say aspect ratio will be 1. Background. Coral. This should be fine. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put an on-click event listener on parents, but we're going to click on child. And then we're going to access that event object and log current targets and targets. Right? So the target should be, if I'm not mixing this up, target should be the one that has the event attached to it. Meanwhile, current target is the specific element that was interacted with. So if the listener is placed on parent, but you clicked on child, child is also inside parents. So of course, clicking on child is going to trigger that listener that is on parents, because essentially you still clicked on parents. You understand? You still clicked on parents, but you specifically interacted with this one, child. So over to the JS. Parents, document.query selector. I think this one is a class this time around. Parents. And this is child. So again, we're going to have listener for parents. Parent.add event listener. Click. And let's say handle parent click. So here we pass in the events, and then we're just going to console.log targets would be e.target. Remember, E is the event, and current targets, or should I just this is understandable, right? Line 21. Anybody who doesn't get that? That's a yes, right?
Oh, it's not a yes for me.
It's not a yes from. Okay, this is destructuring. You remember destructuring? There was a class in beginner class, destructuring and spreading. That is weak. So essentially, if we have an object, const obj is equal to, let me say, parents is equal to 50, and child is, okay, obj is already taken. I should have known. Obj 9, and child is maybe 20. You can say something like const parents is equal to obj 9, sorry, 9. And if you log parents, you're going to get parents. So anyhow, if you have an object, any method or property you have inside that object, you can destructure it quickly to get it as a variable. So we said child, the same thing. Of course, if you said something like aunt, that doesn't exist. You get undefined. So all clear on this one. Jojo.
I'm following you.
Okay. So remember when we saw this event object, you saw those list of methods in it, right? And among them was targets and current targets. So I'm just trying to bring them out as variables. As for me, as for this log, I like to do logs that have names so that if we see target, we know that this is target, because when this shows up, all you see is either null or an actual element. It won't really tell you that this is target on its own unless you do something like this. Okay, so we have handle parent click. We're passing in the event.
So, sorry, I wanted to ask a question. I noticed
Yeah.
that in your console log, you are adding curly braces. Why?
Okay,
Why?
it's what I just explained now. Look at this. Look at this
No.
place.
I understand
Eh,
the structure. I'm just like,
no.
why?
It's about this console log. It's about this console log. I
Okay.
logged parents and aunts. And okay, let me remove the aunts first. We just see 50. But looking at this 50 doesn't tell you what this 50 is. Like why you're okay, because this is Coca. It's right next to the console log, so you can tell what this value is. But in your browser now, you've kept the code aside. When you come over and look at the browser, all you see is a value, 50. And you want to wonder, why 50? What's the meaning of 50? And you now want to go and check the line that this console came from, this log came from, and go back to your code to look at that line to understand what exactly you were trying to log on line 50. Or adding this makes a difference, because now you can tell that, okay, I'm looking at parents. Parents is 50. You see the difference?
Yes. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I click on parents, and this is what I see. This click was just here, normal. So I see target is div.parent, current target also div.parent. So now I'm going to click on child, and we get, okay, I mix it up. I have a feeling I did that. So target is the exact one you clicked on. Meanwhile, current target is the one that has the listener attached to it. So because this listener is attached to the dot parent div, no matter where exactly inside this place I click on, I'm still going to get current target as div.parent. Okay, but the targets might change depending on what children I have in here and where exactly I click. You understand? Like I click here and we see child. So are we clear on target and current target? I'm expecting a yes or
Yes.
a no.
I am.
All right, cool. So now that we know how to get the element that we clicked on, or sorry, the element that the listener is attached to, do you think we can come up with a way that inside our input listener function, we can now somehow, get into that input and see the value and log the value? Now we know. Of course, for input, you don't need to worry about targets and current target because it's still the same element you're working with that you listener on. You understand? So your targets and current targets will always be the same for working with inputs like this. Okay, so we have inputs, sorry, we have E, so we can target E.targets. Okay, so my current targets, I'm just going to remove that. Yeah, so now we've got targets. And let me call this value, input value. Okay, so how do you think you can get input value from this target? Target is the input itself. So in an input, how would you get the value from an input?
I, I think we'll add the dot value. Yes.
Okay, so target dot value. All right. So let's go G I, Y, U. Awesome. So there you have it. If for any reason you want to know what exactly your input holds after any change, that's it. Your listener function should be passing in the event object, and then e.target.value is the value inside. Okay. So let's try to do some weird things. Now we've seen that we have this. What if, of course, this input is a text input. Okay. Somebody can write anything they want in here. But what if you don't like hyphens? Hyphens like this. We don't like it. And anytime somebody puts a hyphen, we want to do something. Let's say, I don't know, maybe put an error for the person and say, please, only letters and spaces are allowed. I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Will an if statement work?
Will an if statement work? All right, let's try it out. Okay, const value is equal to target dot value. Okay, so now we have value. How do you want to structure your if statement?
Okay, basically say if the target value is equals that's the double equal, and probably like in a string we could add dash.
Okay.
Probably just
Okay. Let me just say, to avoid trying to do some HTML thing. Let's just say it will throw an alert. Right. Anytime we encounter this, it will just throw an alert. Let me see. Alert. Or rather, instead of saying hyphen. Okay, let's start with just the hyphen, and then later we'll make it to, if there is any character used that is not an alphabet or a space, then we should throw this error. So currently we are only checking for hyphen. If somebody writes a hyphen, we want this alert to show up. Okay. So are you sure this is the way to go? Is everyone on board with this way? Nobody's talking. They say silence is consent. Okay. So I've written the hyphen and I don't see any alert. So that probably means this place, there's something wrong with our condition. What can we add to our condition?
Or I don't know. I'm not really. I'm still reading up on regex.
On regex, okay.
I think regex would have been more suitable.
Okay, but currently we're just looking for one thing, right?
Okay.
If you had a string, const, don't worry, I always have this random.js is a very helpful thing to me. Anytime will I say not sure about some method I want to use or some function I want to try out, I'll come here and try it out. So let's say we have this function that has this bunch of stuff. Sorry. Yeah, this bunch of stuff. How can you check if something exists inside the string. Let's ignore regex for a moment. There are lots of string methods.
Dot include.
Does
Dot,
contain.
no, it's not
Dot.
content is not in string.
Okay.
You say a value string dot include that thing that you are looking for. If it's there, we say true.
So let me say I'm looking for A. A is true. There's no B here. Okay. B returns a false. How about hyphen? Hyphen is a false. So yes, dot includes does work. So that means we can try it out here. So can you change this, please?
So it would basically be value dot includes.
All right. So if value includes that, we get the alert. So now if I write GI that we get, please use alphabets and spaces only. So now you see the reason why this course decided to go through the trouble of showing or teaching all this bunch of things earlier on. Because when it finally comes to the time for DOM manipulation, event listeners and all that, it's not magic that you'll be using. It's still those knowledge, those basics you've learned a long time ago that you now tie in to make whatever you want happen. And because of your knowledge of objects, you know that you can destructure, get targets and know that this is how to get value from targets. With string methods, you can try to validate your inputs, whether with regex or without regex, anyhow up to you. So yeah, this is that. And of course, if we wanted to get the length of this, okay, let's see if we can stop it. Let's say we have a maximum, and somebody created this maximum. It said const max name length is equal to 10. Yes, I know it's a small number. But let's say max length is 10. If we want to stop anybody from writing in this field, once it reaches 10, what do you think we need to do?
I think you can also use
dot length. Okay, so let's have a separate if statement. So if what value dot length,
yes,
yeah, equal to, greater than, less than.
It should be less than or equal to.
Okay, less than or equal to max name length. What should happen?
Maybe another alert.
No. I don't want an alert. I just want it not to show.
For it not to show.
Yeah, like if I'm writing GIYU blah 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 blah, it gets to 10. Let's assume that this is 10. This J I'm pressing now should not work. I should press the J, but I shouldn't see anything in that input.
I know what you will do is that it will be an empty string, but I don't know how I want to put it.
Okay, so you remember when we were trying to set attributes for some elements, right? Like disabled. You say this element of disabled is equal to true or false. Don't you think you can do that for value as well?
Okay, so I if that's the case, I guess we just disabled.
Okay. Well, I don't want the input disabled. I don't want the input disabled. I I want it to look normal, but yeah, nothing is entering again after that length. Again, I would like to remind you, think of Twitter or some of these fields, these places that have, what do we call it, input fields that have a max limit. Once you hit that max limit, yes, they will throw you an error. They will give you some kind of error message that you've reached the max for this input. But they don't disable the field. It doesn't change color or anything. It looks normal. But anything you're writing is not entering again. Okay. For that, we don't even really need this, actually. If you just said target.value is equal to target.value.slice and 0 max name length. So how is this? How does this look to you?
With the expansion means that once it gets to 10, it stops. That means it's more than.
Okay, so look at this now, and let me try to say this. You know, target is e.target, right, from here, and value is target.value. So essentially, value and target.value are the same thing. But which of these, do you think both of these will work? And if there's one that will not work, can you tell me why it will not work? Let me even make this let so that you will not use this one and hold me. So look at these two very well.
Well, I wouldn't say, but we've already assigned target value to value, so it's basically the same thing. So I wouldn't say which one would not work. More or less like which one would take effect first. So I think target value first time.
Okay, so see what we're going to do. I'm going to comment this out and we'll try it and see if it works. Like if it gets to 10, nothing else enters. And then I'll come back and comment this and open this and, check that out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see this? Let me look this way. On this input, you see it stopped at 0, right? But you can see something is still happening in the console. 4, 5, 6, 7. So is it working or it's not working? It's not working. I would say it worked now. I mean, the goal was to stop our input at 10 characters. And it's working. Because once this thing got to 0, the 1, 2, 3 that we've been writing after them has not entered this input. They are showing up in the console log means the input is actually seeing those letters, those characters. But it's not allowed. They are not being allowed into the valley. So this is a success. Okay, so now this goes away and this comes back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not working. It's allowing more than 10. Why is that happening? Even though value is the same thing. Yes, anyone? This is target.value is equal to target.value.slice, so and so. And this is value is equal to value.slice, so and so. Why is the first one working and the second one not working? Fifi, Kingsley, also.
Okay, so I feel I don't even know how to say it. I don't know. The idea that is coming to mind is not. I think like slice
Let's say it all the same.
okay, slice is more or less like it's more or less like we're saving in that one the I don't know. It's not making sense.
Okay. Sam, any thoughts from your end? Okay, you want to try?
Okay, I think it's because of the target.
Because of target. Okay, so what happened to target? Why target the problem?
I think the target, like I wasn't following through with my target. Target supposed to be chill.
I can't make out what you're saying. So anyway, let me carry on.
Okay, what
Yeah.
about? Though I don't know if what I want to say is the correct thing, but you know when you get to 10 for that target of value, I
Yeah.
think maybe you know that as you click again, the process will start again, and when you get to that target of value on, it will stop. But this other one is the whatever value you take is taking it back again and adding it to the what is already there. Oh,
Not really. Not really. Let me show you why it's happening.
Okay, let me. Okay,
So okay, now someone wants to try. Yes, please do.
so it's just a wild guess, though. I don't really have the words to say, but I think it's a deep copying issue. Like it's not copying the entire because the what is being assigned to it is bound to change from time to time. So it's not like yes, we're assigning it to the variable, but it's not really copying it. It's like I just feel like it's a deep copy issue.
Okay, I feel like you're onto it, but you are not explaining it properly. So this is the issue. Let's say we have an object, and in here we have targets. And target is an object. And inside target, there's something called value. And value is a string that is, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Yes. So over here, if you log, okay, sorry. If you log obj9, this is what you get. Let's say const. Let's try to reproduce what was over there. Target is equal to okay. So the target dot value is now equal to something else. It's now equal to target dot value dot slice 0.5. Let's come down here and console.log obj9 once more. And what do you see? Inside obj9 that nobody talked about, we just did target.value and messed with it. obj9 value inside target is now blah blah. So adjusting target.value also made a change to obj9. Now let's duplicate this. Let me comment these two out. Here we're going to remove the target dots. And this is what we get. So once more, now that you've looked at it, both sides better, why is it that this one doesn't change this one? Doesn't affect obj9? Yeah. I think somebody should have a clearer idea on that by now. Nobody still.
It's
Okay.
not. It's not the direct.
Again, I feel like you get it, but you're not putting it in the right words. Okay, it's a reference issue. Value, we look at it, this is a string, and strings are primitives. They are not linked to any reference. So you adjusting the value, the content of value, doesn't affect obj9 in any way. However, target is an object, right? And you know objects are passed by reference. So because this target is an object, if you saying target, even though assigning targets to this variable target, you're not cutting or copying it out of obj. Instead, you are passing a reference to this object that is already still in obj. So making any change to targets is going to also affect obj. It's going to make a change inside obj9 rather. So even if we said over here that target.name is equal to first name, just watch it change everywhere that obj shows up. It has changed. Because target still retains that reference to obj. So you must always keep this in mind. Even if you are, what's the word, destructuring or something like that to make your life easier because you don't want to be calling a long chain of things like e.target.this. Even if you are destructuring, make sure that the final thing you are changing at some point is an object. So you don't destructure and get to the level where you are now trying to change a primitive like a string or boolean or something. Make sure that it's still linked to an object. As long as it's linked to an object, you are most likely still talking to that element object. That one is clear, Abby.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
why.
Wait, sorry.
Sorry, I didn't get you. I think Jane, Abby.
Sorry, I was lost. Yes, sir, it's me.
You were
Sorry, I
lost.
was lost. Like I had
Have you been found?
emergency. So yes. I just came back.
You never
I had an
saw it
emergency.
coming,
I
Abby.
just left.
Okay. Anyway, what I'm saying is,
So what happened? Is it that the value was not? Okay.
Value is a string. Value is a primitive. It has no reference to obj9. However, target. Target is an object. And so assigning target to this variable, well, called target, only passes the reference of this object to this variable. So any change you make to target is still going to reflect inside this object in obj9. For example, you see here I did target.name is equal to first name. And over here where we are console logging obj9, after this, we see that target now has name, first name. So always remember that it's partly because of this that they chose to use objects to be doing this thing. Because objects are passed by reference. So any part of the thing that you see that is an object, once you make a change to it, it reflects in the main thing. And the DOM is always looking for changes to, reflect to everybody's vision. So once you make a change to this, let me say this input element, you've made a change to the whole DOM, because remember everything starts from here, documents. Everything is inside documents. Think about it. And that one is also an object. So making a change to this small object means you've made a change to the big object. It means you've made a change to the overall object. And so you see change in your DOM. But making a change to one small string that is not connected to the tree, your change, you don't lose. You know reach. Yeah, so that's that. So now we've seen getting the value from the input. I am doing something if a certain substring or so exists inside the value. When I say limiting the value, of course, I don't think we need to talk about getting the length of the value, because if you can get the value itself, it's just to do value.length and you can get the length. Okay, so I think on input changes, I feel like we've covered all about that. Is there any other thing about input changes that you feel we've not done? Okay, let's try one more thing about input changes. So currently we have first name inputs. Imagine you want to mirror something, for example. Let's just duplicate this. Yes. If you write inside first name, I want that same thing that is written to show up in last name. You understand what I'm saying, right? So as I'm writing 1, 2, 3, 4 here, I want it to also be showing inside this one. So who can make that happen?
We just use the same. We add the event listener and we use the same. Is it the same function that was used in the first? And that is
where we adding event listeners.
Adding to the last name variable.
Okay, why do you think we should add it to the last name input?
You said if we want to be able to recreate what was done in the first name, so I think that's why we're adding it.
Yeah, but think about it. I'm saying I'm going to write in first name. I want it to be that when you write inside first name, that thing you're writing will show up as well inside last name. You are not really interacting with last name. You're only interacting with first name. So knowing that, what do you think you should do?
That would be more or less like mirroring what is in first name. I don't know. Would that be
exactly? That's why I want mirroring it. So how would you go about it? Anybody? No, I'm not answering this one. This is everything that we've done. Your way is in there. You know how to get the value that is being written inside first input, right? That's this value. And you've seen how to let's call it set the value of these first inputs, because that's what this is saying. Target.value is equal to something. You are setting it. So mix that. Don't do it on target. Do it on the other one.
Okay, so can we like say the oh my god. So obviously we're trying to mirror the values from first name to second name. So can we use this outside? So can we like say like the it would be more or less like opening another function, then it would be e dot the target of value equals to the is it the handling for, I don't know, I'm just thinking. Let's
You know
think
what?
of
You know, I don't hear your voice too much for this call. I want to hear other
Okay,
person's voice.
I don't know. Honestly, the thing is getting difficult. I don't understand today class.
Really?
Honestly, I don't understand. Maybe that destruction on, maybe that I will still go and read it again. Today's class is not easy for me. But what I'm thinking is that if, for instance, that object that is explained and it's absolutely
Yes.
why not equate it? Like, because I'm trying to say that I want to make
Okay.
this.
It's like this one. This one is confused. All right. Okay. Okay. This part is confusing, Abby. All this
Me, I'm not even
destructuring.
thinking
So
about
let's
the
remove the
code itself.
destructure.
Me, I'm not even thinking about code now. I'm just thinking if what we
Okay.
do in
Okay. Let me ask you now. Let me ask you. How do you get value? The value that is written inside this input, whatever inputs that this handle inputs function is running in, how would you get the value that is inside an input? Of course, you know that. Let me just call it value. Const value is equal to. You know that E is event, right?
Mm-hmm.
So inside that event, what are you looking for inside there?
the target.
We're looking for the target. Jojo, are you cool with that? Target.
Wait first. This target that you mentioned now. Remember
Yes.
that? I think that. Can you just explain it again? Because I'm confused.
Targets of an event is the element you interacted with that fired that caused that event to fire. So the event is input. The input was done on first name input, and that's why this event was fired. So e.target is going to be first name input. Is that understood?
You said target is the.
Look at this. Look at this. I click on this this coral circle
Yes.
and see targets div.child. Sorry, div.child. You see it lighting up now.
Okay, that was the one you
that's
clicked.
the one I clicked on.
Yes.
So this was an on-click event listener. Yeah, so I interacted with this circle, and that is the target. If I click on the box itself, parents, up and down here, target is now div.parents.
Okay. The one that you interacted with is the target, Abi?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And so you know that doing inputs here, that means I'm interacting with this first name input. So that's the target.
Yes.
So that means e.target is the input itself. And so how do you get value from the input?
It will be the target or the value.
Okay, so this is clear now that e.target.value is the value contained in that input. Abi?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so again, let me remove this one too. So now, e.target.value, yes, is that value. But this can also be set. It's like how we did something.disabled back then and tried to set it. Like this one, progress L dot value is equal to 4. And so we set that value to 4. And we set this one to 10. So that means these properties of HTML elements can be set by assigning them a value like this. Abi?
Okay.
So that means if you had another HTML element, let's say last name input, for example, how would you set the value of last name element?
Okay, for me to get the value of that last name, right?
Not get, set.
Set the value.
Okay.
Yeah, because think about it. Yeah, let me just say this and then you continue. You want to get the value of first name and then set that same value inside last name, so that as somebody is making changes to first name, the same value that is showing up in first name will automatically at the same time be showing up in last name. That's basically what I'm asking for. So that means you should be able to get the value from first name and set that value in last name. So how do you set a value in an input?
It will set. Okay, that one is to get the value, set the value. I'm just thinking that whatever I'm going to get in this first name, I will equate it to last name.
Okay,
I don't know if I make.
Do the equation.
I will not do first name, last name input.
Yeah.
That's called last name input. Okay, no, don't worry, leave it like that. It's equals to.
No, we already have last. Yeah.
Input is equals to first name input cost. Put cost.
We've already created last name inputs. It's document or query selector last name.
Okay, that's okay. And
so
just put let it be equal to first name input.
Like this.
And that's what I think.
What is last name input?
Last name input
on line 4
is this dot query selector, meaning that's the target. That's
look at this case here that we'll see it. Look, what is last name input?
It's an element.
First of all, last name input is an element. Second of all, it was created with const. Why are you trying to reassign its value? Is it really last name input you are supposed to be trying to ask to set?
Okay, so sorry, can we do last name dots inner HTML is equals to?
No. We looked at it that day for IMG tags. IMG tag is a tag that doesn't have closing. It doesn't have an inner HTML. And that's the same thing with inputs. See, where's our input? Yeah, see input. No closing tag. It has no inner HTML. What you are trying to set is the value of the input. So why are you looking for inner HTML?
Okay, if it's the value, then we'd say oh my god. Dot is it first name input dot target dot value?
So you said first name is that line 20. So you cannot say value is now last name input or something like that.
Sorry, say that again. Hannah, can you say that again? So now network have been narrating. Okay. Again, look over here. You have an element, right? Progress L is an element. And we wanted to set its value. So look on line 12 and see how it was done. Progress L has a property called value. And you know properties in objects can be set by simply, that element dot this property is equal to this. And that's it. It's set. Okay? So over here, we have last name input. Last name input has a value. And we want to set that value to this on line 20, which is what we got from first name input. So how would you go about doing that?
You will say last name dot value is equals to value.
Okay, so here I'm adding dot value. Last name input dot value is equal to value. Like this.
Yes.
So, success or not?
So say, but the thing is, now that we're doing it in class, is easy. If I go home now to want to do it on my own now, I will not get the same thing.
Because if you are not answering the questions I'm asking here, you are waiting for someone to do it for you. So you are not unlocking that how to reason aspect. Because when I said how would you do this in the first place, you didn't answer me. You followed my thought process. You didn't come up with your thought process. You didn't properly think about what exactly is needed, follow the steps and the steps and the steps. You allowed me to think for you. So when you go back on your own and it's time you face a problem, I'm not there to think for you. You will now be on your own to think for yourself. And so because you've not properly awakened how to think about this problem, you go hook because you won't be sure what to do. But if you could get an outline of this is what I need to do, you see that you're able to do it. That's why you're excelling here, because there's an outline. This is what you need to do. This is how it was done before. You understand? That's why you need to keep on trying it on your own. Okay.
Okay. So let's go back to the code. Let's see the code again.
Okay. So line 20. What does it do?
That one is just to get the value of the element that you were interacting with. Know that what you clicked.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm trying to understand. You see, you said this E is the event, right? Event. Okay.
Yes.
Event dot targets. You said every event. I'm trying to understand. Every event have so many things. When you show us many things on that, but what they usually use is always target and current target. Abi?
Current target. And most of the time, you just need to know. You need to try to interact with. You need to try and know either what element you interacted with or which one the listener was put on. Anyhow, usually it's target or current target. It's rare for someone to need something else from event object.
So, and what you mean by current target is the parent of the targeted element, Abi?
No.
Oh, I did not get that one.
Okay. But you get targets, right? The one you
Yeah,
interacted with
what
is target.
target? Yes, yes, the one I'm interacting, the one
Current
mm, okay.
current target is the element that has the event listener that was fired. The event listener is placed on parent. So anywhere I click inside parent, let's say, okay, let's add a few more children. Mm, how do they do that? Grids auto columns. Track size plus. Okay, max content. Let's go with that and see. I've not really used this grid autoflow columns in regular HTML like this. So let's have a bunch of kids. Ah, they went out. Crap. Okay. So is it autoflow row I'll try? Sorry. Mm, okay, let me see. If I give it grid template rows is 2. That solved the issue. No, they're still going down. Nonsense. Okay. Let's make the columns a particular number. Repeat maybe 8 and 1FR or auto. Am I missing something?
I think you place this thing in the center. That's why it's.
Okay. Let me just remove this place item center. Oh, I get why. Yeah. So let's say we've got this. And I click on this. Target is going to be this div child. Okay, let's make it even finer. Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm supposed to send this, what do they call that, attendance,
Shit.
sheets, yeah. It's very easy to forget that.
Did you set alarm or somebody reminded you?
No, I just remembered. I'm awesome like that. See Bashir whining me. CC has form fine. Don't worry. You're going to show us your form and we'll see the meaning of fineness then. So please, link to attendance has been posted. Let's take a minute or two, fill it and come back. So once you're done, please say something so we can continue. So, anybody done?
I'm done. I'm done.
One more person? Any other person done?
Yeah, yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So, look at this now. We clicked on this, and what do we see? Child 1. Target is child 1. Of course, current target is still parent because this event listener was placed on the parent. If you click on the parent, target is parent. Click on this one. Target is child 7. So does that make the whole thing clearer? Yeah, everybody, Jojo.
What you click on,
Yeah, the one I
what
interacted
interacting with
with
your target.
is the one
Then
that
the
is the
one
target.
then the one that they put the event listener is the
The current target. So a lot of times, both of them are the same. Like here, when I clicked on target, the one I interacted with is target. The event listener was put on target, on parent, sorry. So it is the same, both cases.
okay.
But usually, or a lot of times, and we don't get this situation where target and current target are different. Like on inputs, for example, or on change. It's the same element, the same input you put the event listener on, you are going to be interacting with for you to have an on-input event. So for on-inputs, handlers, there's no point bothering yourself with current targets. Just e.targets is enough.
So
It's usually for some. Yeah.
okay, I understand that one. Okay, okay. You are still explaining. Maybe when you finish the explanation, I will ask my question.
No, I was just going to say it's only some kind of situations like maybe on click, on mouse over, that you see situations where current target is different from targets.
So what I want to ask is that sometimes when you click, you put something that you're not supposed you're supposed to write maybe your let me not say password. They said date, and they want you to put. Maybe they want you to put like as an example, month. We have in a month we have 31 days, but when you put 32 as an input, the form will notify you that this is an invalid input, and it will not be notifying you like an alert that will show on your browser. No, it will notify you just under the feed where the first name is. So how will you do that one?
Okay. So first of all, if you remember from all the things you've been seeing, a lot of these, in quotes, magic that happen with JavaScript, they have their foundations very deep in HTML and CSS, like the accordion that we did, right? We had to write a lot of HTML and CSS first, like as foundation, before we now went to JavaScript and just did one small thing. Okay? So it was a small thing we did in JavaScript now. Just if this, do this, else do that. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah, and it worked out. So once again, in that kind of situation, you are first of all going to have that stuff. Let's call it, let's make it a span. Yeah. So maybe span dot error with the class error. And you go over here and style that class. Maybe we can put it here. So this class is going to have, first of all, a color of red, because I want it to be some kind of very warning color. But red is very red. Anyway, let's go with that.
It's
Of
more than I
course,
used
it's
to.
going to have very. Well, this is very red. This is like red, red, red. You understand? You might want to use some kind of shade of red. This is the Oga Red 25500. Maybe a lot of designers rarely use this kind of absolute colors, like 000 for black, or okay, even FFF. A lot of times they run away from it. They want to use something, some kind of shade of red. Anyway, it's all good. So yeah, small font size. So maybe 10px or 12. Nothing particularly much to it. So now it's all a matter of controlling the error, like controlling what enters this error. So you may want to give this okay. I think this allows us to do something. I'm coming. App.js. So let me say console.log siblings. If I get this right, e dot I won't see this clearly. Let me use last name input and get the thing I want to see. There's something in here that shows sibling elements. Okay, but even if we don't get sibling elements, there's still another way, right? For every element, you can get the parent element. So if we get the parent of this first name, that's input box, and then we can now look inside it for any span with the class error. So yeah, let's get that. Let's see. Targets. Const target parent is equal to e dot target dot parent element. So these things I'm doing now, you see how the reasoning came in, right? Because I'm trying to look at it from a general perspective, not like for first name, I will now go and find this. I'm looking at a case where this function can work for first name input, can work for last name. So I'm trying to generalize it and not specifically go get this error class. That's why I'm going through this process. And so I thought about it. For every input, if I find their parent, they're all inside input box. That's how this stuff was done. All the inputs are inside input box. So for every input, if I get what's it called? If I get their parent, that's input box. And of course, from these parents, I can now begin to look inside for any element that has the class error. You know how we can do that now. Of course, you can do input box dot get element by dot query select yourself and get this error class. So now, if you don't know how to get the parent element, that's just a Google search away. You know that now. Yeah, so as long as you find a plan, you can search up on how exactly to do that thing. You don't need to have it all in your head. So yeah. So either target of parent elements is target parent, and then const error L will just be target parent dot query selector dot error. So let's just parent, target parent and error L. So we log these two first of all, and then here we could have some kind of if statement. So what kind of situation were you looking at that will be flagged? If you write what?
If the
Let me say
month,
if you write if the month.
if you know that you don't the input does not know that it's month. You just know that it's my label that called it month. But I know very well that whatever they want to put in this place will not be more than 31. So I cannot say if that's target dot target dot value is greater than 31.
Yeah.
Mm.
So now you have your
Um,
error element, and this error element
Mm.
is this span. What do you think you should do to get text inside it?
I will use inner text now.
Okay. So what am I writing?
I will say if this error element dot inner text should be equal to should be equal to I want it to be can this wait.
Okay.
Can this it says can this not be backtick? Can be backtick now.
Yeah, it can be back.
Template literal.
Okay.
I wanna say put $sign. I wanna say target dot value they come aside from your curly bracket is an invalid input.
Okay. So we need to, yeah, this is great. We just need to do one small thing here. You see, either target dot value is a string because value is a string. Yeah. Just keep that in mind. Value for any of
Yeah.
this is always
We need
a
to
string.
convert it to number.
Yes, exactly. You need to convert it to number.
Plus.
Okay. Yeah. Plus also works. So that's about it.
But wait, so
Yeah.
because for class my math they sharp. Where don't be
Okay. So first of all, I've written 2. So this event has fired, and we have this span error, and then this div input box. Why is span error showing there?
So it's okay now.
Yeah, I was expecting it to show on the this one that is looking like it's by the sides. Maybe wahala with that.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's going to calm down because I think input box should be grids. Okay. It's going to calm down. Don't worry. Don't mind the thing. It'll calm down. Okay. So yeah, you wanted to say something.
And when you put 2,
Nothing
put
happens.
32.
Okay. That's 2. What do you see?
I'm looking at the console. Okay, 32
No, we
is
didn't
on.
log anything to console now. This is what we did.
Okay. No, but anytime you are doing anything, the thing is showing on this console.
No, it's just because I have a lot of console logs. That's why you always see something.
Okay. Okay, the thing
Okay,
does
so
show.
look at this. Yeah, look at this. Now it is less than 32. But this one is not going away. What do we do?
Which one is not going away?
This your error message is not going away.
Okay.
And I think I need to let me just make some style changes to this error input. Intro input. Add some negative margin top. Oh. Is it? Still don't want to hear what?
Span tag is an inline.
This is why I don't like spans sometimes. They always get on my nerves by doing weird things like this. So you know, tell me, say you show up now. How are you doing? Okay, so it's what's all this one now? Okay, because I styled span. I'll just leave this in as dot error. This is serious. No wahala. CSS wants to do me anyhow.
You need to change it. Oh. Because me, I'm lost. So.
You're lost. Don't worry, that was CSS trouble. Don't ignore those ones. So yes, I'm saying if you do write a value greater than 31, yes, this one shows up. Or if we edit it, and now we have a value less than 31, this guy is not going away. Do something about that.
Condition now. Can you hear me?
Okay, so I can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
What changes do we make here? I guess she'll be back soon.
Sorry, I was thinking like we in the first, if it's greater than 31, the is it the okay? It's already been. Then we add like an else statement. I don't know. Then okay, then we can set the is it the display to none?
Or is it something like we did yesterday that we
Just to empty
removed the
string.
class.
That we removed what?
The class. I think that thing that we
Okay.
did yesterday.
No. Rather than removing the class, yeah, Kingsley, your display none idea is great too, but let's follow the same way we did it here. You know, at first, before the number became greater than 31, error L did not have display none. It was actually visible, but there's a reason why you couldn't see it. Can you tell me why you couldn't see it? Look at the HTML. This is how this error text is normally. But when the value becomes greater than 31, the error L inner text begins to look like this. So following this pattern, how would you get it back to not showing up, to looking like the other one, looking like this? Because when it was like this, it wasn't showing up.
We can set it to an empty string.
Okay, so what am I writing?
Else.
Else.
Continue, my friend.
Else.
Else
Yeah,
the error element of inner text just equal to just a photo. Yeah, that's
so if we write 32, we get this. If you remove the 2, you get that. So that one is cool, Abby.
It's cool. Now that we're in class.
Yeah, you keep stressing this one.
I know what I'm
Okay,
saying.
yes, I just remembered something. So part of the reason why we give these guys names is also for this function, for this handle impute function. Okay, so let's just do one small thing. So let's have an object here and call it input values. Why are you showing me that? There's no other input values. Okay, input values is going to be an object like this here. So we're going to remove this on change listener. And this one that is on first name inputs, we are not really going to put it just on first name inputs. So we're going to get a node list of every item inside this form that has a name. And then we're going to attach this listener to it. So here goes. So text, or let me just call it inputs for now. Const inputs is equal to reg form dot query selector all. I think it was for a similar situation we talked about this that day, where you do this name. As long as it has a name, it will show up in inputs. Okay, so instead of saying first name input dot add event listener, we're going to have inputs dot for each. Okay. For each input, we're now going to, let's just move this guy up. Inputs dot add event listener on input handle input. So in handle inputs, let me remove this bit about this and about this. yeah, instead we're just going to do something else. We have value, right? So let's say value is equal to this, and const name is equal to e dot target dot name. So then you could just say input values square brackets name is equal to value. And then just for a bonus, we console.log input values. So in the form, let's go ahead and give everything a name. So this is last name. This one is email. Now for this case, these ones already have name, because without name they will not even work as radio inputs. So I was forced to give them name. Then I didn't really get the whole point of having a name attribute, so I wasn't keen on giving anything name attribute. It was that one that forced me that I gave name attribute. Name, C, password. Educational level. Okay, this already has a name. Edu level. Experience level. EXP level. Text area has a name. Okay, we have names. Have names. So let's go check it out. We write in first name Tomioka. And what do we see? First name is Tomioka. And if here I write give, at the end here, see input values, first name Tomioka, last name give. Okay, and we can continue like this. So that means at the point where we say create account, and we want to, what do I call it? Submit the form values. We can just come and pick up input values, because now it has, everything that we've written so far. Experience level, let me say intermediate. Tell us about you. Just like that. Educational level, let's say tertiary. Even this one, sir. Oh, the value, the value I put. So you see, edu level, EXP level, and gender, there is some little problem with them. And this is the problem, right? Value is nothing. So when you do either target of value, nothing showed up for these ones. I didn't set value. Again, that time I didn't see the point of value. Everything was all front end, like visual, no logical something there. And for this one too, okay, this is radio. So I guess I should separate the radios, kind of.
Sorry, what about that thing that when you're filling a form and you not fill everything, it just alerts you that you are missing something or something like that?
Okay, so first of all, there's HTML validation. You do that by giving the right emails. Sorry, giving the right types to things. For example, as this field is an email field, if I write anything I want to write and come to this email and I don't put at and go away, if I click the submit button, it's going to alert me that, I did not put this.
Isn't that when you miss something? I think that thing is required.
No, yeah, I get that. I get that. One is putting the right this thing, and another is also required. Putting required and making this one text, even though it's an email field, it won't check for email. You understand? So for HTML validation, yes, if you want a field to be filled by force. Put required. And also try to put the required type for this. So if you notice, this one that has type password, if we write inside it, you won't see what's happening. You get this. But if you make it type text, then you begin to see what you're writing. And this one now that is email, you can already see, do you see this tooltip? Please include an @ in the email address. Blah, blah, blah is missing an @ and that's part of that email validation.
If you not
Sorry.
fill one for me, Cinco. Like if you omit one.
Okay, so let me just go put required everywhere.
Okay, so that solved it all.
Wait,
That what?
that one that was showing that you should put @ was it JavaScript you used to write that in?
No,
Or
it's an
It
email,
automatically.
it's HTML validation because
Okay.
the type is email. You should be watching out for that. So if I put required everywhere, that's it. Please fill out this field. And so you keep getting that for all of them. So Hannah, be good. And then also, well, people can also, there's also another step with JavaScript. You know, this one just checks that there's something inside the field at all. So if you actually want to check that the values in there match what you want, then you would also need to do some JavaScript validation. Let's say you want first name to be at least 3 characters and at most 20 characters. You saw how we did it now. You have access to input. So if either name, so the best way to do that is brackets. So if the target of name but the ones we've done so far today, no issues, Abi.
And no, there's no issue on the deal. Now when I don't reach out, what do I?
No, Jomasi.
The man say, you know what will happen there?
Eh,
There are some ways to debug all these things. Like it's not that hard.
okay.
That you are having problems like that. Just check your console. I'm sure
Mm,
some could be related to syntax error. And if
okay.
you see that nothing is not working yet, you just copy your code, explain that exact thing that you don't understand or that you feel could be going wrong. Explain it to show it what you are doing. Explanation. ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Hmm.
Yes.
ChatGPT.
It's not like you have solution per se. It's just for it to debug your code for you. So it will show you what you are doing wrong and you spend less time debugging it. And then you still
Okay.
want to dig deeper, like you want to explore, or what if I did like this? Because I know you like to do that. Or like, but
Okay.
like, just have that communication with ChatGPT to really help you. Eh? And I really
Okay.
admire your efforts. As I know sit down and hold my desk type, I go come dey learn from you as time goes on.
Amen.
I can actually see you growing. Like I'm
When
impressed. I'm
if
impressed.
you they watch
So
am for film, when they go say this person is a software developer, and so type they go dey type fast, fast, pa, pa, pa. The practice work, work, work. Like, 1 hour at the one place.